having me. I'm so happy to be here. I don't know what video you guys watched, but I know it was something of me being great, so I'm happy you guys got to see that. You guys need to thank Mike, because he's the reason I'm here. We both have something similar. We had a dream to go to the Olympics, and I met him in Colorado Springs on the next Olympic hopeful show. And I trained at the Olympic Training Center. I was one of the staff there. And I'm really just here to talk to you guys about just, you know, with sports and school and everything. I want you guys to know that how old are you guys in here? 5th and 6th grade? So I started boxing at the age of 11. That's when I decided that I would do all these great things, and I wanted to be a champion. And I'm the youngest boxer to ever win an Olympic gold medal, and I won my first Olympic gold medal at the age of 17, and I won my second gold medal at the age of 21. But 6 years of nothing but hard work, dedication, taking advice from people, you know, who I didn't know and did know, and just doing what my heart tells me to do. And something about boxing, I don't do it because I'm just a tough girl who knows how to fight. I box because I love boxing. I love hitting people. I don't think I like getting hit, but it all happens. I just finished 8 rounds of sparring, so my hair is kind of sweaty and everything. It's hot down here. I'm from Michigan, so being from, you know, coming down here, I don't know how you guys make it. But did you guys have any questions for me or anything you want me to touch on, Mike?
We can take some questions from the students.
Have you ever broke a bone during boxing?
Have I ever broke a bone doing boxing? No, but I have had a torn ligament in my shoulder back when I was about 15, and that was about the last injury that I've had. Oh, and I dislocated my knee a few months ago, but I can still walk.
If you weren't a boxer, what other sport would you do?
You said if I wasn't a boxer, what other sport would I do? I feel like I would be a track runner. I would be a track runner or a basketball player. Back there in the blue with the mohawk. Mohawk. Yeah. What's that?
I just cried. Can you give me your autograph?
I got you once we're done. Maybe blue shirt, yes. What's the question? Okay, anybody that wants autographs and pictures, we can do that at the end. We don't have any more questions. Green shirt. She said, will I ever stop boxing? Can you guys guess how old I am? So, I am 24. I'm 24. And I don't plan to stop boxing until I'm 35. So I have a couple more years to go. Yeah. I just feel to win in the Olympic gold medal. It is the most exciting and scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And meaning, when you're at the Olympics, you run into so many other big celebrities. I got to meet LeBron, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. I have met him. That's so funny. No, so I've met a lot of great guys, and when you're at the Olympics, you have to keep that mindset. You just want to freak out when you see a celebrity. You know what I mean? And even though I'm a celebrity, you just want to freak out like, oh my God, that's LeBron. But at the Olympics, when you see those guys, it kind of hits you like, they're here to win an Olympic gold medal, but so am I. So it was like, you gotta chill and be a celebrity and do what you gotta do. And being on that podium, walking out to the ring for me, going into the gold medal match, I was so freaking scared. And I wasn't scared of the girl. I was scared like my whole life is going to change after I do this. And I was kind of like, I want to be rich and famous, then again, I don't want a lot of people who like trying to snatch at me. So maybe if I get silver, it'd be easier and less people. And I just told myself, like, go out here, beat this girl, and whatever happens after happens. And after having that be my dream from the age of 11 till 17 and actually being on the podium, it was one of those feelings that it was probably the second best day of my life, because I feel like winning my second Olympic gold medal was the best day of my life.
So we'll continue with all of your questions, but just for you guys, I wanted to know, did you win every fight you ever fought? And was there any challenges or losses that you faced along the way? Was it a smooth path to victory, or did you have to fight to become the best?
That's a great question. And the question is no. In the amateurs, my record was 77 wins, 1 loss, 19 KOs. Out of my 77 wins, everybody goes crazy over that. But when you're winning like that, people don't think that you can lose. And anything worth having is going to be hard to get to. And not only am I getting in the ring to win, but so are my opponents. And the first fight I lost when I was 17, my first and only fight. I was 17 years old. It was a girl from the UK. It was at the World Championships. It was my first time traveling international. And I know that some of us in here, once we lose, we just want to give up and we want to quit. But losing should motivate you. Losing is not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world is quitting. If I would have quit when I was 17, I would have never won the Olympics the first time or the second time, and I wouldn't be a world champion right now. So even with that, with the loss, in training camp, I've had sparring sessions where people say people get beat up in sparring or they lose in sparring when sparring is only practice. But anything worth having, you really have to train hard for. And I train my butt off to be great. I run a lot. I eat super healthy. You guys ever had a spinach and watermelon drink? It's spinach and watermelon, all chopped up and like, split it up. It's not, I can say it's good sometimes if the watermelon is sweet, but if it's not, it's kind of, but those kind of sacrifices you have to do. I work out 2 times a day. You know, I get up in the morning and do about 2 or 3 hours, and then I go to the gym late at night, 2 or 3 hours. And it's a lot of hard work. So anything you guys want worth having, you have to work hard for. You have to dedicate your time. You have to eat healthy. And you have to, listen and learn. Amen.
We can go back to
Go ahead. My inspiration growing up was Serena Williams. I know everybody here know her. Yeah, greatest tennis player ever. And as far as in boxing, I didn't have a female boxer who I looked up to because it really wasn't a lot of women to look up to. I mean, you guys all know Layla Ali, right? Muhammad Ali's daughter, right? But I never really seen her fight a lot until I started looking her up on YouTube. But a male who I looked up to was Floyd Mayweather. Ooh, yeah. Andre Ward, Money Mayweather, that's the man. I looked up to him. I'm trying to think of if it was anybody else. McGregor's cool, but I'm not really off into MMA. Rocky's not real. I love to see the Rocky movies. Your question.
How did you feel when you got a car or a contract from the professional league?
So in the amateurs, I was with the USA boxing team, and I was paid a stipend. So when you're ranked number 1, a stipend is a monthly payment, and I was paid $2,000 a month, right? And it sounds like a lot, but 2,000 times 12 is $24,000, and I was fighting over 18 times a year, traveling international. It was tough, and I trained all throughout the year. So when I got a big contract for my pro debut to fight for $50,000 for one fight in a 4-rounder, I was stoked. I I was excited. I felt like I was rich. And I went and bought all that stuff, like MCM bags, Fendi shoes. Oh my God. I already had a car, but yes, I did gonna need me a car. But you want to be smart with your money and not just splurge it. So the key to saving money is if you make a large sum of money, right? You put about 70% of it up and use the rest of it for spending. Thank you later for that. I'm gonna go back here in a gray shirt next to the gun room. Yes, here.
Can you show us your jabs?
My jabs? I got a game for y'all. So I'm going to throw this combination, right? And I want you guys to tell me how many punches I threw. Alright? No cheating. Talk about putting it in slow mo. Don't put it in slow mo. Watch me. Okay? Are you guys ready?
Get ready to count. How many?
He's crazy.
I know 22. I know exactly.
27.
20.
20, okay. So, I'm going to throw the exact same combination in slow mo. And tell you how many. Here.
All right, let's go back to our seats. Back to our seats. So we have another question. All right, so part of boxing is that for a while, for a long time, there was actually no women's boxing in the Olympics. And a lot of times in a lot of sports, especially in a sport like boxing, where there's a rough physical nature, a lot of the time, most people think, oh, that's a boys' sport, rather than, oh yeah, girls can do that too. So as a female, what was it like proving yourself to everybody, and not just to females or not just to males, but to prove yourself as an absolute equal?
Well, for me, he's right. Growing up, I was in a gym full of all guys. I was only girls. And they actually used to call me Rest. I wanted them to give me a boy nickname, so my name is Claressa. My real name is Claressa, but I wanted them to call me Rest for short. And basically, I had this tough coach named Jason Crutchfield who never treated me like a female or a girl, I guess. He treated me like an athlete. And he instilled in me, to work harder than the guys, run faster, punch faster, don't let them outdo you in anything. And he instilled that in me and put that competitive spirit in me. And as I got older, within 3 years, out of all the boxers in my gym, which was still all male, and I was the only girl, I was the best boxer in my gym. And that was from hard work, pushing myself. And it kind of just taught me that they may say all these things genetically about women, like, women aren't strong enough to do football, or women aren't strong enough to wrestle and all this crazy stuff, but a woman's body is just like a man's body. If you prepare it to do what it's supposed to do, it's going to do that. So if you practice wrestling, you're going to be a great wrestler. If you practice boxing, you're going to be a great boxer. And I always knew I could fight. I always knew I could fight. And going to the tournaments, when I fought against all these girls, everybody would stop what they're doing to come over and watch me and my opponent fight in the ring. Everybody always was like super intrigued by me. I've always been a great boxer, and I kind of got discouraged coming up because there's not a lot of girls that box when I was coming up. So I was kind of bigger, so walking around at 150 pounds, 15, 16 years old, I would go to tournaments and I would go uncontested. That means that I would train and get ready for a tournament, and the girls would show up, see me, and their coach would say, no, we're not letting our girl fight her. And they would pull out the tournament. So I went uncontested a lot of tournaments, and I went 9 months before when I was a kid, just training, not even fighting. So with that can be discouraging, but just know that I knew that once I went open, which was the 16 through 34 division, that I would be fighting all the time. I fought 18 times in 1 year when I turned 17. And really, you can be discouraged when people try to tell you that you can't do something, male or female. You know, if you have a desire to do something, it's the reason God put that in you. I feel like I was chosen. I was chosen to be a boxer. I'm the first woman to win an Olympic gold medal at 165 pounds, the first time that they allowed us to be in the Olympics. Now in the Olympics, back when I was boxing, they only had 3 weight classes: 112, 132, 165. Of course, I fought 165. Now, women's boxing has grown and gotten so much bigger. Now they have 119, 125, 132, 152, and 165. So women's boxing is getting bigger, and for all the girl athletes in here, you can do whatever you want to do. You can run faster than the boys. You just gotta practice. Some of y'all don't have to practice. Some of y'all are just naturally gifted. And don't be discouraged. People tell you that girls don't do sports. Girls do sports. If you love sports, you do sports.
So beyond just being a female athlete, or even just beyond being an athlete in general, a lot of times when we're students in school, or even an athlete on the field, on the basketball court, or wherever we may be doing what we enjoy to do, somebody is always going to say that you're not good enough, you're not fast enough, you're not strong enough, for whatever reason that they are trying to put you down. So how do you respond when someone says that you're not good enough for whatever reason?
When someone says that you're not good enough,
Especially as a kid.
I just kind of don't listen to them. That's just me. I have just a go get it kind of attitude. And if somebody does say that to you, that you're not fast enough or strong enough, you can ask them, so what do you think I need to do to be stronger or faster? And if they give you those answers, then you just work on that. But never be so down to where you quit. Winners never quit and quitters never win. That's a true story. And that's a true quote. And no matter if you're the best player on the team or the worst player on the team, you're still a part of the team. And if you see anybody on your team who needs help, who needs some encouraging, the best thing you can do being on a team is to help them. And people are going to say a lot of things. I was told in boxing that I would be brain dead by the time I was 17 years old. Women don't need to be in boxing. Women can't take body shots. I've never been dropped with a body shot in my life, and I spar against men all the time. I've dropped guys in body shots, sadly. And, you know, just with that, you just can't be discouraged, and you have to know that you're willing to go the extra mile to get what you want. Okay. Navy blue. Yes. Say it again?
How did you help your family?
He said, how did I help my family? I just inspired them. You know, I can go down a whole list of things I've done. I've done for my family. I bought my siblings cars. My little brother stays with me till this day, and I basically look out for him, help him get through school and his GED and everything. My younger sister has kids who I take care of. I can go down a whole list. Whole list of stuff.
Tap a girl. Tap one of the girls.
Blue. Yes, light blue dress.
Have you ever met Serena Williams?
Have I ever met Serena Williams? I've seen her. I've seen her in person, but never met her face to face. No. Yes, and you had a question right here. You. Yeah. Did you forget your question? You had your hand up, but she answered, so honey.
Yeah, I forgot.
You forgot? Okay.
What was your most proudest victory?
What was my most proudest victory? Well, in the amateurs, I fought in the Pan American Games, and during the week of the tournament, I got sick. I had the flu. Yes, I had the flu. Matter of fact, I had food poisoning, and I was throwing up everywhere. I couldn't drink nothing. I couldn't eat nothing for the whole tournament. And I got a bye, and then the next day I was fighting. And I was going inside the ring, and I was telling myself, I was praying to God, like, please don't get hit in the stomach, I'm going to throw up. All I had was a little sip of Gatorade and some crackers. And I was fighting against this girl that was really good, who I fought against before. She didn't like me, and I knew she was going to come out hard. And I'm like, God, don't get hit in the stomach. Somehow the girl found out I had food poisoning. So the first round, she come out there and punched me right in the stomach. Yes, she hit me in my stomach. So when she hit me, it kind of froze. And I was like, oh man. But I was able to not throw up, beat her down really bad. Really, like, disturb her. That was one of my proudest victories, because when you're sick and you're tired and you're throwing up, for you to fight is just like, for me to overcome that, it was a big deal for me. And then it let me know, like, if I could beat her up while I'm sick, there's no telling what I could do to her when I'm not sick. So that was like something that made me happy.
Could you tell us about a different experience, a time that you lost where you actually learned the most from it?
Yeah, so I lost to this girl my first international tournament. I was 17 years old. And from what I remember, I didn't know much about the girl. I had never seen film of her. I didn't know much about her. But I remember during our fight, even when I watched the fight, because I had the whole fight, everybody tells me that I didn't lose. But the fact that the fight is there, I lost on points, 14 points to 8, it really instilled in me something. Because I was the type back then, when I don't know if you guys know, but when you're hitting the bag, sometimes your arms start burning. You can either keep punching or stop, right? And at the time, I just stopped. I would just stop. I was undefeated. I was TKOing girls. I was the best fighter ever. And I was like, I don't need to do that extra work. If my arms start hurting, I'm out of here. I was running 2 miles a day, or 2 miles every other day. And after fighting her, I had thought to myself, what all? Because I watched the fight and I feel like I don't feel like I lost. But when I think about it, I'm like, what was wrong with me throughout the fight where I didn't get the knockout, or where I didn't fix what I wanted to fix? And the truth is, my legs got tired from chasing her around the ring. I was winded. My arms was hurting. It was out because I was trying to throw so many punches. And I just remember her, maybe last round, she hit me with some jabs because I was just super anxious to try to get the points back. But after that loss, I cried a bit. And I cried, every time I worked out for about like a few months. And then the Olympics was coming up. But not only did I cry, but I had a huge chip on my shoulder. I don't know if you guys know what that means. That means I was pretty mad. So I changed up everything. I changed up my eating. I changed up how much I ran. I went from running 2 miles a day to running 4 miles one day, 6 miles the next day. 4 miles one day, 6 miles the next day. I was doing over 40 miles a week. I started sparring more. I started hitting the bag more. I started pushing myself to extreme measures because I was like, I'm never going to allow myself to lose again. So even though the loss made me feel it made me feel sad and everything because I wasn't undefeated, it made me a totally different fighter that keeps that hunger in me. Even now, after all these years, I'm 24, I haven't lost a fight in 7 years. And it's like 7 years, 17 plus 7 is 24. Yeah. So with that, losing is not the worst thing. I already said it, quitting is the worst thing. But after that, after I lost to this girl was in the Olympics with myself, same weight class. Guess who won the Olympics that year? Me. Right? Also, we had the world championships in the amateurs every 2 years for the women. She was at both world championships. Guess who stood first place on the podium? Both world championships. Me. She was at the Olympics again. Again. 2016. Who won the Olympics there? So the girl that beat me, her biggest accomplishment is beating me when I was 17, and my biggest accomplishment is winning the Olympics, winning the world championships, everything that I've done. And I'm an undisputed middleweight world champion, and she's not. But the thing I'm getting at is, don't let a loss decide the person you become. Losing is not the worst thing. Quitting is. Don't quit. Don't quit school. Don't quit basketball. No. Don't quit basketball. Don't quit football. Don't quit cheerleading. Don't quit running because you lose a race. Question. Second. My longest winning streak?
17 years.
I think it's right now. So crazy thing is, math is so stupid. So.
That's the wrong place to say. She doesn't mean it. That is not stupid.
Right, math is great. So when I lost my first fight, it was my 26th fight. So I was 25-0, and I lost when I lost my 26th fight, right? I haven't lost a fight since. So 25 fights, 26, and then you go to 77. That's what I ended my career at. So what the heck is the math on that?
52. Nobody likes that.
So 26 to 77.
51.
Okay, 51, 52, and then plus my 9 professional fights that I'm undefeated in. So 60 fight win streak.
60.
Nigel, where are you? Question, go ahead. Can't hear you. When I get older, will I go around the world fighting other boxers? Is that what you asked me?
Yes.
So that's kind of like my job right now. So that's what I do. I go all over the world and I fight other women world champions, and we put on shows. I fight October 5th on Showtime. So if you guys have Showtime, you guys can watch me on TV. I have another fight. Showtime, it's all over. Showtime. Young lady in the black sweatshirt? Yes. Can't hear you.
Quiet down, guys.
Was my family ever non-supportive of me not being a boxer? So, funny story. My dad was an underground street fighter. He fought in alleys, underground stuff, abandoned parks, wherever. He fought there. And my dad actually is the one who told me a story about Layla Ali taking after her father, Muhammad Ali. So with my dad telling me this story, I thought he wanted me to be a boxer. But my dad, when I asked my dad could he sign me up for boxing when I was 11 years old, he told me, no, boxing is a man's sport. That is what my dad said. But my dad ended up changing his mind, right? And signing me up for boxing and telling me that I couldn't quit boxing for the first year. So it cost $60 a month. I mean $60 a year to box. So my dad said, if I pay the $60, you can't quit. My dad didn't know that I was a natural born fighter. My dad had been in prison from the age when I was 2 years old till I was 9. So my dad was just meeting me, and I was the biggest crybaby at you guys' age. I was super fragile. I was really emotional growing up. So my dad just knew me as like his crybaby, but my dad didn't know I could really fight. So he signed me up, And after my third fight, my dad came to one of my fights, and after my fight, he was crying with so much joy and told me I was the best fighter he's ever seen. So, just because your family doesn't support you at the beginning, yeah, doesn't mean they don't support you at the end. Isaiah? What happened at my first fight in the ring? So my first fight, I was 12 years old. I was 119 pounds against a girl who was also 119 pounds. We had to travel all the way to Columbus, Ohio, which was 4 hours away from Flint, Michigan, where I'm from. And I got a second round knockout my first fight against the girl I was fighting against. She was 2-0, I was 0-0, and I knocked her out. Black shirt. Can't hear, you got to speak up louder.
Hey guys, we can't hear if you guys are talking. Please quiet down.
How would I what? Oh, he said, how would I feel if I wouldn't have got a gold medal in the Olympics, or I would have got bronze or silver? Let me tell you something. In the Olympics, you are amongst the best athletes in the world. To just get there takes a lot of hard work. I fought 4 or 5 tournaments just to make it to the Olympics. So a bronze medal or a silver medal does not make your medal worth less. It may not be first place, but if you're second place, you are second place out of millions in the world. So, and also third place or fourth with the bronze, you're still amongst the best in the world, and that's a big deal. So gold medals are great, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing wrong with a silver or a bronze medal. I would be just as proud and maybe just a little bit disappointed because I was so close to getting a gold medal, but there's nothing wrong with silver or gold, nothing at all.
So we're gonna go back to your questions again. I just have another one. So in the boxing ring, we fight battles, right? In the boxing ring. As a student, as a 5th or 6th grader, or even younger or older, how can we take the lessons that we've learned from the boxing ring and apply them to the life of a 5th or a 6th grader?
Easy. You guys ever heard of the 5 Ps? Okay, I got you. It's proper preparation prevents poor performance. That's something you guys should use throughout your whole lives. We're going to say it again. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. So while you guys are here in the 5th and 6th grade, I want to tell you you guys out here, I want to tell you whatever you want to do in life right now. It can be the craziest thing, as like an astronaut, a scientist, rock star, pro basketball player, the best NFL. I'm telling you guys right now, at this age, if you know what it is you want to do and start working your way toward that right now, you will be successful. All you have to do is proper preparation prevents poor performance. You have to get ready. First thing first, with all the athletes in here and people that want to be, great in other fields as far as the doctors, nurses, you guys have to graduate. That should be the biggest goal of everybody in the room. And I'm not talking about graduate 6th grade. Graduate high school, 12th grade. Once you graduate 12th grade and get your high school diploma, the world opens up. You can go to college. You can get your job in whatever field you want to get in. You can go and be an intern somewhere. It's so many things that you can do. But the first thing you have to do is make it through 12th grade. Now, when I say proper preparation, you guys have a test. I know some of us feel like if we just listening in class that we can get an A. But to get an A+, you have to study. You have to listen. You have to do homework. And that's what makes you get an A. If you have step with any of those things, because school is not hard. It's not hard. You get free time, they let you talk, you get to eat lunch. I mean, this is stuff that really is simple. You come to school to learn. So nobody should have bad grades, especially when you can ask for help. Tutoring, you have to prepare for your future. And if you want to prepare to get an A, you have to do everything in order to do that. You can't have steps. So just with that, proper preparation prevents poor performance. Remember that. And if you prepare for anything, you'll always be ready for it.
So, obviously, all of us, we have people telling us that we should do things a certain way. We have our parents, we have our teachers, our principals, and a whole bunch of adults, right? And we don't want to listen to anybody that puts us down. But certain people are out there to help us, right? Your teachers, your coaches, your parents, etc. So, listening to your teachers and your coaches and anybody that cared about you and wanted you to succeed, how did that benefit you, and how would you have been affected if you didn't follow the proper instruction from them?
So just to put out there, growing up, I didn't have the best childhood growing up. My mom, she abused alcohol a little bit. My dad was in prison. And the role model that I had was my grandmother. My grandmother believed that I could do anything I wanted to do, except my grandma did not want me playing football. She believed I was good at it, but she was like, I don't want you getting tackled by other guys. So my grandmother was just like, don't play football. But anything else, she allowed me to do. I have other role models. I have a mentor. Her name is Corey, and she talks to me about just real life stuff and giving me advice that way. You have to make the life that you want. So there are people that really care about you. It's all about how you listen to them and how you take their advice. And just with my boxing coach, he was my first boxing coach. He was like a father figure to me. And even though he made me train hard, he also just really pushed me and motivated me. And some of us get so discouraged that we don't let ourselves be motivated, but have to stay motivated and can't sink into a deep hole just because somebody tells you, oh, you got a broke jumper or you don't run fast, and stuff like that. You have to listen to all the good stuff. If you listen to the bad stuff, listen to the good stuff, and those are trying to help you and trying to help you and push you. Just listen to them and follow the instruction of them, and you guys should be fine. But some of us don't really have, parents for advice. So you have to look other places like your teachers and your coaches, and those guys want best for you. So them wanting best for you is enough. You don't have to have a whole family behind you pushing you to do great. It can be just one person pushing you, as long as you allow that person to get through to you. It may be your brother or your sister or your cousin, but there's always somebody that can motivate you. Yes.
Do you think you would have gotten this far if you would have quit?
Do I think I would have gotten this far if I would have quit? No, because quitting means I would have never got back in the ring again after I lost. That means I would have never fought in the Olympics. I lost 2 months before. I lost 2 months before the actual first Olympics. So I would have quit. There would be no 2012 Olympic gold medal, and there would be no 2016 Olympic gold medal, and there would be no world championships. There would be no middleweight professional world champion. So you can't let one bad thing destroy everything else. You have to look at the hard work that you put in, and if you put in hard work, how much more successful you can be. So like I said, a loss isn't the worst thing in the world. Quitting is, so don't quit. We have more questions. Yes.
Did your brother become a boxer?
Did my brother become a boxer? No. My brother works out in his bag and stuff, but he is not a boxer.
Whenever you got injured, how did you feel?
Now, coming back from injuries are hard. I just dislocated my knee a few months ago, and I couldn't straighten my leg out for 6 weeks, and I had to wear this stupid brace, and it was stressful. I couldn't put my own shoe on. I couldn't put my own pants on. I couldn't stand up for more than 30 minutes without my knee just thriving. So after the 6 weeks is up, I had to go through therapy for a few weeks. And therapy is mentally hard because you feel like even when you're an athlete, you just want to get back into it, you want to work out, but your body is prohibiting you from doing it. So I had to listen to the instructions of my physical therapist and take it slow until I recover so I wouldn't re-injure myself. And even now I have to do like a whole lot of recovery, ice bath, hot tubs. I can't run as much as I used to. I can run, but I have to be careful on my knee because it's healed, but anything, can make it, tweak or whatever, or like mess up. So just coming back from an injury, just know you gotta take it slow, be patient, and know that the body needs time. Yes. I answered that already. Yeah.
You come all the way over here. Oh, no. Also, I've seen that you hit your lip and that's smart.
Yeah, so I sparred 8 rounds before I got here, and my lip is busted. I sparred 2 guys. I did pretty good work, but in boxing you get hit, you hit people, and busted lips happen. But it's all cool, it's part of the game. Light blue, yes.
What was your hardest?
My hardest fight? I think my pro debut was my hardest fight. It was the first time I took off the headgear, the first time I fought with smaller gloves. I fought against this girl named Frenchon Cruz, who's also a female world champion. WBO, WBC world champion. Her name is Frenchon Cruz from Baltimore. Crazy. And me and her went to war my pro debut, and that was my toughest fight. She's a pretty tough girl. She's fast, she's strong, and we really threw some heated blows and stuff at each other. So that's probably my toughest fight so far. Yes.
How much do you train a week?
How much do I train a week? I train twice a day. For this camp, I've been training twice a day, every day. So I do 6 weeks of camp. For this camp, it's been 8. I train a lot, about 3 hours each session, so 6 hours out of the day. I'm training, I'm running, I'm punching the bag, I'm hitting pads, I'm sparring, stuff like that. It's a lot of hard work. Yes. Before I started boxing, did I beat anyone up? No, not really. I mean, I'm from Flint, Michigan. It's one of the roughest places to grow up at, so I guess fighting happens, but I never went looking for a fight. Fights always found me. So don't be no bully and go trying to fight nobody. I just more of it was on the defensive side, defending myself. Yes. Yeah. Did you have a question? Oh, yeah. Yes.
Do you have any more fights coming up?
She said, do I have any more fights coming up? I'll fight on October 5th on Showtime. I'll be the main event. It's my hometown. I'm going to be the fastest boxer to win 3 division world titles. So I had 2 world title belts at 168 pounds. I have 5 world title belts at 160 pounds, undisputed. And now I'm going down to 154 pounds, and I'm fighting for 2 more belts. So that's 3 different weight classes. The record right now is for a fighter to accomplish this feat in 12 fights. I'm attempting to do it in 10 to break the record. So that's on October 5th on Showtime.
All right. First, let's hear it for Claressa Shields. It has been a true honor that you have chosen Iprep Academy to come and present today. It is an honor to meet you You just expanded your Miami-based fans. I'm sure these are all your fans. And who's going to tune in on October 5th to watch her win? And now, we're going to stay on this side. So we're going to ask that those students on this side to stand up, walk behind, so that we can take one giant group photo. Those in the front, stay seated, so that we can actually see everybody.